Hi, welcome back again, like main house. Today we have a special guest, Unzukani Khosa. Thank you for honoring our invite. Loko nibones fanerile kuri I must host you. Just you, especially you alone.
Thank you for
Wow, you
hosting
look
me.
gorgeous.
So lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, today it's a very special day as I'm hosting Unzukani. Yeah, I think we met 3 years back on social media. You know, social media platform that meet is but different, and then where we find ourselves clicked, and then it's like I know you for the longest time in my life because of the activities that we've done together. So yeah, like I say, you special to me because I've seen you're such an inspiration, more especially to me alone, Gore. Like watching you growing and then your career, climbing ladders. It's so amazing. So, but who's this Unzukani?
I come from humble beginnings, like most people. Lavangele Jomi, alava kutana Jomi. Whether it's ama Captain Park or it's ama Senten or Mamelodi, bagile Jomi. I come from humble beginnings. Iku velekiwa velekui Kaminga. It's a big village, Masai Malakiani. But I grew up in a small town called Palabora. That's where I did my primary schooling, my high schooling, with my two sisters and both my parents.
Okay.
As university, I've studied at the University of Victoria. I've been a student since 2008.
Sure.
I'm still a student even in 2020. So I'm very big on academia. I'm a divorcee. I was married. I'm divorced, as you know. That's something I talk about often. I'm like, if it was not because of my divorce, I don't think I'd have been the person that I am today. I think I had to break in order to realize how much strength that lies within me. I'm a mother of twins. Yo, they are very active. But they are 7 years old and they are boys. They mean the world to me. They are very, very active. I work for the public sector, and then I own also my own research company, which I named it Mavona Research Services. Khosa, Mavona. Did it Mavona. So yeah, I'm lecturing as well. And I work, like I said, I also work for the public sector. But most importantly, I'm a God-fearing woman. I don't think I would have achieved anything without God. So all glory be to Him.
Oh wow. So yeah, Hamuta, this gorgeous Portia said the highlights that I want to like Yakuri, you are a divorcee, young as you are, it's not a nice thing to learn about or to hear Kurumono divorcee, but what got into you and oh, I can't take it anymore, or maybe he cannot take it anymore, and then you find yourself growing apart because like women, as women, we're scared to go under that process because we what is it that
queen of the main house? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think my marriage was over within the first year. Where you realize this is not for me. I realized that the person, because I think we were in a long distance relationship for about 5 years before we got married. When we got married, he was still staying in a different province. A few months later, I got a job and we started staying in Gauteng, the both of us. And then we realized I did not know this person. But you like,
now I'm dating the real person.
Now I'm dating the real person. Because when you're in a long distance relationship, you might have arguments over the phone. But look, you want to make the most of it. Imagine you can't drive over 500 kilometers per hour. You get it? So yeah, I just realized that this is not for me, but needs I tried so hard to fix the marriage, but I realized that I was the only one fighting for the marriage because after for 3 days, sometimes 4 days, like unphonela, one tsaka kumfonela tsaka kubaza phone ya mina loko no love va ta ganga va fonela wena because you're my wife. The fact that you have not heard of my dad, it means I'm still alive. Mama says swahlekisa so she says achy, but at the time it was heartbreaking, you know. And then I leswa so ni shava the matching outfit ku loko ya again in mall image trying to fix what was wrong in my house.
Sorry, excuse me, about the matching outfit. Rana kuntiza kore. Pela 11 you know, you must wear the same matching outfit. Married couples matching. I boyfriend and girlfriend. Married couples. So Rana kuntiza that matching outfit. I'll take a kurustalunga
you know, and I would even go for photo shoots. You know, you share on social media. You are so lucky. You know, you are so lucky. God has blessed you.
But
and
I'll be behind the scene.
Behind the scene. It was a nightmare. And because I think, look, uchata, you want to say I want to be with this person until death do us apart. Vitani mashaka, mama hlweni ka vafundisi, mama hlweni ka xikwembu ku hita fa swin'we ta safa yi lahlana. I always say death did do us apart. I think both of us died in that marriage. So death really did do us apart in that marriage. And then if there's something wrong with me, God, then teacher me. You know, there was a time something you told me, regardless of what I do, you're not gonna leave me. And at that time he said it was true. He was like, that's when I realized he did so many things, but I stayed and I never comfortable you know, and like she gave of which was true. So yeah.
Sure. But what I like, you say you both died in a marriage. But I see you rising like a spring that died. You know, when a spring ushikandia, once ishikuma freedom usisanenge, you know how. So Mona ukule, it's so amazing how you grew up like after that. And then how did you manage? Because Baba Satibotala, most women, they go under depression, they want to isolate themselves, the problem that the divorce na yini. And when it never happened to you, but instead, you know, the ladder is, you know, you climbing.
I'm not going to lie. It was difficult. There were times I would get at work and if I toilet and I would cry. I put on my lipstick and go back and work, you know. Sometimes I would cry while driving to church. Sometimes I get in the room, I just cry without it. I had those. But obviously I had an internal support system. I had people that were supporting me that meant well. But I also had people that did not mean well. You know, that people that I thought were my friends were more interested in what went wrong in my marriage. One of the most things that I laughed about was one phone. Would you have a problem if I dated your husband?
No.
You know, this
what
is
kind of a friend is that?
This is somebody we've been friends since I am second year university. Would you have a problem if I date your husband? I was like so angry that time. So I'm phoning and like, yeah, you can date him, because it was somebody. But I was heartbroken. I'm not going to like going through my divorce. I got to see who my true friends are. I got to see who my true families were, because there were some families who were against the divorce. Up to this day, I've got relatives who don't speak to me because of the divorce, you know. So I got to see who matters in my life and who doesn't. I think.
But one thing that I liked about you is you had that self-love. You know, it's so amazing. You know, once you draw boundaries and say, I can take it up to this far, this is a no-go area, and then you build a wall, no matter who says what, I don't care, this is my life, this is it's me who's suffering in that marriage. So like, how did you manage to, like, you know, draw a line yale nakuba ukha utitsela kuri now this is hunzukani, I must do something different, and then kubani humilika this mess yamchato, because it's a mess. Obviously loko munhu afamba nyamalala 3 days, loko mfonela kunle kuphaseni ka tinhlampfi, wena a wu swi tivi ku ri u phasa tinhlampfi ta vanhu vanene ari ku ntoveleni ka
it was hard. So I always say, well, sometimes people that are in abusive marriages, that are not happy in their marriages, oh, why is that person still there? We tend to be very judgmental. It takes a lot to leave somebody you vowed to spend the rest of your life with. It got to a point where I even knew all his side chicks. I would go on Facebook, and ask, I want to find out, what do they do for a living? Do they have qualifications? I just wanted to
So
find.
now you want to compare yourself with the world. You in a competition with people that you don't even know.
Because I felt like I was not good enough anymore. I felt like I have given him so much power over me. If he had told me to roll on the ground, I would have done it.
Sure.
But like I said, when my prayer changed, it was like I used to pray, God save my marriage, save my marriage. But when my prayer changed, I said, God, give me the strength to leave the marriage. I believe God gave me the strength. I started to tell myself how amazing I am. I started to tell myself how great I am. I started to tell myself how beautiful I am. I started to tell myself I had a life before this man, and I can have another one. Na energy le aniyisa kunna kuba mani, because obviously na mina nakukula in a family, my kids to grow up in a family like ungana mani na papa, because that's how I grew up. I wanted the same for my kids. But that energy le aniyichela ku lava kuva family ya kahle, I moved it on to my study. I have lost the title yakuba satwa munu, but I've gained a title that cannot be taken away from me, which today I'm a doctor. It's something I'm very, very proud of. Thank you. Thank you.
I cannot, ever since I think you got the title doctor, it was April, if not March. And then we kept quiet about it. And then it was, but every day I'm burning inside to, announce this, Portia's is a doctor, and then, that's how proud I am, because seeing you climbing, because sometimes it takes, like, we lose ourselves, ukumakura wa na direction utola mafura yangakhomi ukumakura na makeup ayayendi, it's because out the end it's the stress that you're going through. But here you are, like, I watched you got one of your pictures, you're holding a book, and then as if you're jumping, and then you said from Miss to Mrs. and then Miss Okauti cross from Mrs. to Miss, and then meaning you were divorced now, and then after that now you're ticking the box, your doctor. Wow.
Thank you. But the thing is, regardless of how much you achieve for yourself, you always have those people who remind you that you're a divorcee. Sometimes, oh, you're a doctor, and then you're like, yeah. Oh, you are divorced, and I've learned to ignore such negative energy. I think I'm somebody who I've developed also a high self-esteem that I didn't have in my marriage. I let a man define me. Now I define myself.
Yes.
I define my own happiness. I define my own goals. Don't get me wrong, marriage is a beautiful thing. Do I want to get married someday? Definitely. I think if you get married to the right person for the right reasons, and both of you are working to keep the marriage, then why not?
Like, wait, that's all.
We're taking notes. People because somebody can look at somebody like, she's divorced, she's young, she's educated. If she could not get it, I won't. And then you look at you, you're such an amazing person, and you're doing well for yourself as an individual as well. And I think you're an amazing wife. And I'm not just buying face. I think you're an amazing wife. So you say it's possible to have it all together in terms of your career and still come home and be a wife. So I applaud you for that.
Oh, thank you. You're making me blush. So yeah, and it's so amazing how social media can sometimes break or make you. I was attacked, I think 3 months back. I think it was on the 25th of June, and then because someone saw a video where I spoke about women, a girl child must develop themselves, because once you build your career, you cannot be subjected to abusive relationship,
Exactly.
it will be easy for you to go out because I would depend on Kamunia lawyer. And then I made a video after that attack and say, you know, a title of Mrs. Kahle kahle balungu la abalava ku loko ba designer those forms abalava ku tiva ku who's your dependent kahle kahle. It doesn't serve any purpose, you know. But my title, your education, I mean, it will stay with me forever. If now I'm an engineer, who can take it away from me? No one, you know. If I'm a project manager, no one can take it away from me. So, like, you know, that's one thing that people maybe like naloku babona mina na wena and say babula yini bandla. I mean, I'm old. Like kahle kahle kufanele mina na mabelecho na manana na papa wena.
Like you've mentioned something that it's very heartbreaking to me. The fact that we uploaded picture on social media which was aiming to empower, educate, and create awareness, but you were attacked. I can bet it was by a woman.
Yes, it's another
woman.
We've
got tendencies of pulling each other down. I remember I once went to church looking amazing, I must say, and somebody was saying, "Wow, divorce looks great on you." You know,
really,
it was a woman. I think women, we've got tendencies of pulling each other down.
We have that needle to burst the bubbles, you know. What it must be. When I allowed the Dwakukuri, you know what? I've killed it.
But I've learned to also ignore such comments because I always say it has nothing to do with me, but with you. You are so empty, and unless you admit it to yourself, you're going to be empty for such a long time, and I'm not going to allow you to empty me as well.
Yes, because Bangmanyani, they just want to pull you into their world. People are frustrated out there, more especially like we being women are being subjected to a lot of things, and then you don't know where they're coming from because bano angabachatile munhu kuma kuri utitlelela reshe nje leswi na wena utlela wa wena but yena angakoti ku huma, you know. And then loko ba kubona uri happy bakho hayi uyendla so amamhleketi egilu yanga tshama endla so, you know. Mina I've tend to accept kuri people, they'll always have something to criticize you about, you know. And then people, they'll come, and it depends on how strong are you, and don't let them drag you because like it will be so bad if you're not strong enough.
And I always say, some people say, you are a divorcee. And you find it's those married women who are also not happy in their marriage. And sometimes I would like, the only difference between you and I is that I've got a degree that says I'm divorced and you don't. Because you're alone
it's
all
bad,
the time.
and because because of you're not, like, it's not a good thing to define. I mean, no one wants to get married. I'm glad you mentioned Kori. You wanted to die, like, you know, you made an oath, till death do us apart. You know, no one wants to get married to get divorced. You know, but unfortunately, life happens, and then if sungaterangi, you have to let go.
And Mateva Leshaku Bekezela says has cost many women their lives. Basadu tabiwa, I have like case at the property charges, or sometimes family
family.
But no, I have a you know, and then to a point where she loses her life. Now everybody wants to be concerned. Hashtag justice for Hunzukana. But we've been saying, don't report your husband, don't leave your husband. So most of the people that get killed in their marriages, it's abuse that has been happening for some time.
For ages.
So I think we need to teach women, you need to know when to leave. You need to know when to leave.
And it's not, you know, people, they can tell you, I used to tell my sister, Kore, once you know, Kore, now is the time to leave, you leave. No one will dictate to you when to leave.
But sometimes kuna woman and pack the bag. I came back. You know,
Because you were not
came
ready.
back. You'd have people tell you, why don't you leave him? I would leave and come back, leave. But the day I left, I was not influenced by anybody, and we did not even have a fight on that day. It's a decision that I took on my own. You know, you have inner peace when you say, I'm leaving because I want to, not because my friends are telling me to, not because the pastor is telling me to.
The thing that I liked about you, Ikore, you were not scared to raise boys without their father. I don't know how's the relationship, but you know, sometimes people, they can really take care of their kids better. Look, I don't know, like how.
But I think Baba Nona, they local move on, they would take care of Baba Nona Bangwan, but not their own kids.
Sure.
You know, I've gone through the stage, you go to maintenance court. Even if a piece of paper says a man must maintain his child, if he does not want to, he does not want to. And there's no court that can order a man to love his children, you know. So sometimes if somebody disappears for a year without seeing his own kids, you let it be. If he comes back after a year and say, I want to see my kids, you let him. You don't become bitter. You know, you don't become bitter. I always say, I don't have baby mama drama. I'm not a bitter ex-wife. I allow him to be who he is. Just because somebody was a bad husband to you does not mean they'll be a bad husband to another person. It could have been a worse husband to me, but to whoever he marries or get married to, it could be an amazing husband. So yeah, you give somebody the space. And if they want to love their children, their kids, you let them. If they want to distance themselves, you let them. No piece of paper is going to force a man to love his kids.
That's true.
If he does not love them.
That's true. Because another thing, Ekore, sometimes mono uti distance because of reasons. Angalabi kubona wena ungahambana na yena. So I mean, if ukautkota ku maintain, why not? Utabanabela, utabakula banalaba within no time. But that's what kind of a father he was.
And you know, sometimes with people that are abusive, they tend to want to blame you for it. They're angry and you're like, I should be the one angry. You know, they're hurting. I'm the one who should be hurting. You know, I had to forgive a man.
Victim minded.
I had to forgive a man who was not even sorry. Because had I waited for him to say, I've wronged you and I'm sorry, I will still be waiting today.
You'll wait forever. You wait forever. You wait forever.